I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Torie, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. It's literally 100 degrees outside. It's not. It's like 95 here in Kentucky this whole week. But it's really rough out there right now. Like, things are not the vibe right now. Like, I have my hair down and I'm literally inside, and I might be putting it up halfway through this video, so bear with me. If I sound a little agitated, it's because it's freaking hot. So I'm doing my best out here in these streets. But as you can tell by today's podcast episode title, we are going to be talking about how to enjoy being alone. I came up with 10 steps / activities / tips that you can do to enjoy being alone a lot more. I'm someone who, until my senior year of college, I really hated being alone. Absolutely hated it. And now it's quite possibly one of my favorite things to do. I love being alone. I wouldn't be okay without my alone time, and it's something that is just very sacred to me and very enjoyable, so I want you to enjoy it as much as I do. For my quick little life update, I don't think I have too much going on other than I have just been in the mindset of fall. I've been watching spooky little YouTube videos, and I just want to drink tea and sleep and decorate my house and be cozy and do all these things, and it's kind of killing my vibe that it's so hot outside because of this. But it is August, so I can't really be too upset, and I know I'm gonna hate the warm weather once the cold weather comes, but I don't know, I've just been in that phase. I just want to be home and cozy and doing my own thing and working on fall projects. I just get so inspired in the fall time, so that's kind of where my head's at. That's really my only life update. I want to be cozy. I'm tired, guys. I'm so freaking tired. I've talked about this in mainly the Barbie episode. I think I really just hit it on the nail on the head then. But I'm just so freaking tired, so I want to just be in my cozy girl era. Do you guys hear my bunny thumping? So that's it for my life update right now. Let's go ahead and jump on how to enjoy being by yourself in 10 steps. In my opinion, learning to be alone is a very big step towards healing and being comfortable with yourself, which is why it's so important to learn to be alone and enjoy being alone. Not all the time, but at certain times. So the very first thing that I did when I was uncomfortable with being alone and wanted to kind of get used to it, honestly, I was forced into a place where I had to be alone and I couldn't run away from it anymore. So when I was in that position and I was like, okay, how do I do this? I asked myself, why? Why am I uncomfortable with being alone? And then I just began to work through that process and heal. And there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of trauma that I was working through. It was honestly very much like shadow work. If you know what shadow work is, it's when you work through your trauma and you heal. Usually you're doing it with yourself. Going to therapy is a form of shadow work for sure. It is an aspect of it, but you're also journaling. You're really asking yourself those deep questions, why things do the way why you react to things the way you do, and you get to the root of the problem and then heal that. So that's very much what I did. In that time, I found that more often than not, some people don't enjoy being alone because they're not comfortable being undisturbed, uninterrupted with their thoughts and their feelings. To kind of combat that, I kind of realized that when you're confident in yourself, your abilities, and you have a strong self-care routine as well as self-love, then you realize that being alone is an essential part of recharging your energy. It's not that bad, and you find that even you crave it at times. But all of that being said, aside from working through the question of why you don't like being alone, here's some other ways that I enjoy being alone, and I think that you would enjoy it more if you kind of did these things too, or at least tried them once. So in conclusion, with that little intro, you're not gonna enjoy being alone until you become more comfortable with it, which you're gonna have to confront the question of why you're not comfortable and kind of get over that before you're truly comfortable. I don't know how many times I just said comfortable in the past 2 seconds, but it's fine. Anyway, here are some ways to learn to enjoy it while you're also confronting that question. So the first one is try something new that you've always pushed off. When you're alone, you don't have to deal with other opinions. You don't have to consider what other people want to do. You really don't have to take on any of that additional responsibility. So do something that you've always wanted to do and you've pushed off. It can be anything from learning a new instrument, taking a pottery class, going skydiving. Do that thing that you've always wanted to try but you've pushed off, or you've been scared to do, or you felt like you couldn't because someone else didn't want to and you didn't want to make them uncomfortable. Like, this is your time to do that, and you should just take advantage of it. Number 2 is empower yourself. There's so many ways to empower yourself when you're alone. Some very honestly common ways and practical ways are to set aside some time to work out, clean your space, do something for you. You're gonna feel more accomplished, capable, and have more self-confidence after. I promise you. I genuinely promise you. You're gonna be like, wow, I did that. And then you're gonna do it again, and you're gonna make a routine out of it. And you're gonna have so much more self-confidence because no one else convinced you to do it. Well, I'm kind of telling you that you should do it, but no one else made you do it. You didn't do it because you tagged along with a friend. You did it because you wanted to feel empowered and you knew it was what's best for you. And there's something so amazing about that and the feeling that comes with it. So that is number 2, and it's probably one of my favorite. It sucks like when you're cleaning because you're obviously gonna be like, I don't feel like doing this, but the end result is way worth it. Number 3, lean into a business idea you've always wanted to start but needed quiet time to research or put into action. Whether it's a baking business, an Etsy, a podcast, you have all this time and you honestly have no excuse not to. If you're alone, there's no one holding you back. Maybe you do have like work and other responsibilities, but you are never gonna have less responsibility than you probably do right now. There are certain exceptions to that, but all you're gonna do is add more people, add more situations, like add more experiences as you go on. So arguably right now, when you don't have additional people to worry about, you have less responsibilities versus when you do have those people, if you are planning to in the future. So this is the time. Like, you're not gonna have less responsibilities or more time than you do right now. Number 4 is to meditate. Number 4 is to meditate. That's right. You shouldn't just be distracting yourself from getting to the root of your reasons for not being alone. And one of the ways, or not wanting to be alone, one of the ways that I like to do this and work through that question of why I'm uncomfortable is to meditate. Just lay down, get in your thoughts, find a good guided meditation and get to work. Also, journaling is another good one. But you just have to remember to take that time to heal and improve yourself. Being alone is not that balancing game of how much stuff can I pile on so that I don't have to think about anything I don't want to think about. Being alone is taking the time to think about all those things you've been pushing off so that they no longer scare you and you feel empowered and free to enjoy your free time without being constantly anxious about that thought in the back of your mind. So you need to confront it, and the best way I choose to do that is to meditate/journal. Number 5, we're already halfway there. Ooh, I need to slow down. Have a self-care night. We love a good self-care night. We are advocates for a good self-care night in this house. Light a candle, turn on some fairy lights, get nice and cozy, and do something that makes you happy simply because you enjoy it. Paint a picture, put on a face mask, take a bubble bath, watch Netflix in your bubble bath. It is up to you how you spend your self-care night, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna do something for you and only you, and you're gonna turn off your phone, turn on that D&D, and this is gonna be about you and what you need to care for yourself in that moment. These are essential, especially if you've been putting on the weight of everybody else on your shoulders. I am giving you permission to have a self-care night and do something for you that is all about you. This is your time. It's not gonna be something you're gonna turn to a daily routine unless you want to, but if you haven't taken the time to love yourself and care for yourself, girl, tonight, put it on the books. You got nothing else to do. You are having a self-care night. Got it? You are. Get a cup of your favorite coffee and go for a drive. I also choose to take my dog with me, get her a pup cup, because she is a good dog in the car. She loves car rides, so I take her with me. But this is literally my favorite thing to do when I'm alone. I grab coffee from my favorite shop, grab my dog, like I said, and we drive. We live in Kentucky, so there's a lot of beautiful back roads with horses and nature and beautiful old historic houses, and I know that not everyone has that same luxury. But I am a believer that wherever you are, if you do have the opportunity of owning a car, I'm so grateful that I do, and I know that not everyone can. But if you do have the opportunity to have a car, this is my favorite way to spend alone time. You can also do this but walking instead of driving. I was thinking about that today. If you prefer to walk, you also could get an exercise in. I just prefer to drive. I haven't done it since gas prices went so high, so I know that that's a thing, but you can also do this walking. I just grab my dog and we go. She's my girl. We go, and we've done this for hours. We've done this for 10 minutes. We just take this time, and I have worked my way to the point where I don't listen to anything. I just think, I just talk out loud. If I need to talk about something, I'll talk to Evie, my dog, about it. I'll rant about it. This is my time to get out whatever I need to get out. And you can do that while walking. Maybe don't like talk out loud in front of a bunch of people, because like it could look a little questionable, but also you do you. Who cares? At the same time, just be safe. That's all that I'm asking, is that you are safe with whatever you are doing. But take that time and try to work up to the point where you don't have to listen to something to distract yourself. I don't know, I used to listen to music, then I moved to podcasts, and now I don't listen to anything. But if you're someone who thinks that music is like less distracting than a podcast, maybe go from podcast to music to nothing. It's very, very customizable to whatever you need and whatever works best for you. But that is my favorite thing to do. It's just good problem solving. It's very meditative for me personally, but I love doing that. Number 7. First, you're gonna create a vision board, okay? Go on Pinterest, create a vision board, put it all on that board. Then you're either gonna print out those pictures one by one and hang them on your wall, or go on Canva, it's free, get the free account, put them all on a white piece of paper or a white poster, and then you can print it out. You can make it your laptop background, you can make it your iPhone background, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to take it a step farther. You're going to write a few habits you can start to work towards today that are going to get you what is on your vision board, and then you're going to implement those habits. Like I mentioned previously, you're gonna only get more responsibility as you add more people into the situation. So it's way easier to implement new habits when you're the only one who it's really affecting. So implement them now. Implement as many healthy habits as you can now and use them to reach your goals. Add new habits as you go on. Maybe you make it so that you implement this many habits this week, and then you build on them and add these next week, and then you continue from there. Maybe it's just 3 that you need for now, and then eventually you're gonna add more. But make an action plan so that you're not just making a vision board and being like, okay, that's nice, and then never really taking action. So that is number 7. Number 8 comes with a disclaimer, okay? Only do this if you have the time, money, energy, and love to put into it, but get a pet. I got my pets at some of my scariest moments of my life when I was implementing big changes, and I love them so much. They are big parts of my life, and they honestly helped me grow. But before you get any pet of any kind, do research. Always make sure you're researching and educating yourself on what kind of pet would be best for you, where to get them, what breed, what is the most cost effective for you. All of those things you need to be researching. But getting a pet teaches you responsibility, they can offer you emotional support, and is overall such a great opportunity to learn and grow as an individual. Adopt, don't shop, and understand that it is a life change, it is a responsibility. But if you're up for that challenge, I think it's so rewarding, and if you feel alone, they make you feel less alone. And it still helps you to grow as a person. It's just with a little help from some cute cuddly animal that you can add into the mix. Number 9, make plans with your friends. I know this is kind of ironic since this is about being by yourself, but having the ability to drop everything and do whatever you want is a luxury you're not going to have forever. So make sure you're taking advantage of it. You're not going to be able to just go hang out with your friends on a whim on a Tuesday night. You're not going to be able to just go do whatever you want on a Tuesday night. You're not going to be able to just go on vacation because you want to. You only have that opportunity for a set amount of time. And then, like I mentioned, you're going to start adding people into the mix. You're going to start adding responsibilities. And I say all of this assuming that eventually you're not going to be alone and you're going to have other people involved. But yeah, you only live once and you only have this amount of responsibility for a set amount of time, and then it's gonna just increase. So go off, go do those things, go find your people, go hang out with those people, do spontaneous things, do whatever you want. Drop everything and start over a whole new life in a different country. You can literally do it all because you have no strings attaching you. I'm honestly kind of jealous at times. Like, you are rocking it. Like, you are in such a great position. And I just want to bring attention to that because, like, I know that it can feel hard and it can feel lonely and it can feel like a bad time sometimes, but you're doing great. You're in a wonderful position and you have the ability to choose your path without the influence of anything but yourself and your vision for what you want to be. And number 10, I know I briefly mentioned this in the beginning, but clean your space. I mentioned that I love being alone, but I only like being alone when the space that I'm in is clean. If the space that I'm in is a mess, I am a mess. Mentally, physically, I cannot stand if the space that I'm in is not aesthetic, clean, organized. It's gotta be. So I'm promising you that once you clean your space, you're gonna feel a lot better, and you may not feel as upset to be alone. You may actually look forward to being alone because your space feels like home and you're comfortable there. You're gonna be way more comfortable in a space that is clean and feels good to be in. Like, you're gonna just feel better being inside of it. So make sure that you're organizing, cleaning, and making it a space that you genuinely enjoy being in. Not anybody else's opinion of what is great, your opinion of what you think a space should look like, whether that's certain decor, whether that's certain smells, whether that's certain window. Like, move if you need to. I know everyone is not in that position, and that is an extreme example. But like I mentioned before, if you don't have the opinions of others holding you back because you are by yourself and able to make these decisions, you can do genuinely whatever you want and it's not gonna hurt anyone. Like, your space is not affecting anyone but you. So make sure that it affects you in a positive way, you know? So that's really it. Those are my 10 steps. My top 2, if I had to take 2 away, is a clean space and a space where you feel able to heal and where you are working towards being more comfortable with being alone and getting towards that root question of why, is where you're gonna find the most difference and where you're gonna be happiest with being alone. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this podcast episode or listening if you're not on a platform where you can watch. I genuinely hope you enjoyed it and got some good tips out of it. I love you so, so much. Don't forget to rate or review or like if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever platform you're on, whatever the equivalent is of showing me that you kind of like what's going on here, you like the vibes of the podcast. I would genuinely appreciate it so, so much. It helps the podcast grow more than you know, and I would love you forever. It's like currency for us. So you don't have to spend any money. It costs about 2 seconds of your time, and it is like giving me $100 bill and saying, here you go. I really enjoy your time. I really enjoy you doing this. Please keep doing it. Like, that is what it feels like. It means the absolute world to me. Don't forget to follow on whatever platform you're on as well. The links to my Instagram and TikTok for my personal accounts as well as the podcast are down below. I love you so, so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on Wednesday, have a great Wednesday night. If you're watching this on any other day, have a great morning, afternoon, or night. And I will see you in my next podcast episode. Bye, guys.